welcome to part 9. So, if you've watched my previous videos, you will have seen me mocking up the looms and trying to coat up the wires so they're the right colour and repairing parts that are missing and using inferior quality products that come from factories where they produce these cheap items. So, where I was up to was, before I got distracted there, where I had other things to do, was I was making up my looms and I was going to do some testing. Still haven't picked up a voltage tester, so that's okay. That's what happens in New Zealand when it's the middle of winter. You're due for a car warrant and you haven't got a flatmate. So anyway, I know they're not expensive, but you know, I don't get paid to be a YouTuber. I'm not one of the rich YouTubers that can just buy thousands of dollars worth of stuff at will. So anyway, bear with me. However, what we're up to now is, instead of, I already know what's coming out of this plug here. Okay, I do really. There's two. I think I explained it in one of the videos. There's two sets of 12 volts. Okay, one's for your lighting circuit and one's for your motor circuit. And then the other wire is a ground wire. I've established that from my logical process of looking at everything else. So, as you can see, I've got the things I've done already, which you will have seen, strung out to make sure they're the right length, sort of mocked up. I'm not going to connect any of this up. What I'm doing is making sure my rebuilt looms are the right length and are ready to have fixtures and parts soldered and connectors put on them, okay? So, I'll explain what I'm up to first. So this is the mains from the battery, comes up to your ignition here, see that red wire, okay? And then the black is the kill switch, okay? So this is connected to this, okay, like one of my earlier videos, and that simply is when you're in the key off position, your kill switch wire, which shorts out all of your circuits, okay, that are not live when the motor's off, but they are when it's running, and it shorts them all out to the frame so that they turns the moped off and makes it so you can't turn it on, okay? And then I've got red here to green, okay? Now I'm going to change the colour of the screen wire to another red wire. Okay, that's my plan. Red from this side can come round and be connected to my rectifier circuit, okay? So that way when the key is on, okay, after the moped starts and starts producing power from my stator, the 12 volts DC negative that ends up getting produced coming out on this 12 volt wire here, okay, can also be connected to my red wire on this side, and that can be used to charge the battery, okay. Then another wire from here goes back to red and white, okay. Red and white on the CDI is the power that keeps it going, okay, the battery power, if you like, okay. Now, for the circuit I have here for the CDI, I also have red and black there, and black, which goes to down to the two CDI timing circuits, timing wires. Okay. I also have my orange wire on that circuit. That's all cable tied together because that's one part. Okay. Then remember, black and white here goes to the kill switch for it, okay, so that's all of the wires for the CDI ready to go, okay. So aside from making everything the right length on the moped circuit to make it run, the only other part I need is my charging circuit to be working. So this is where I'm up to. So we've got a big long red wire and a big long white wire that I'm currently repairing, taking out. See, this is the kind of shit that comes out of the factory. Oh, that looks like I did it, doesn't it? But I didn't. It came out of the factory like that, okay? So under there's a shitty little cheap crimp. Okay, it's tiny. You can't even feel it barely. And it's just got tape around it. Okay, this is why these mopeds blow up. Okay, so you know, might look like I'm really changing anything. A lot of the componentry is quite good. This will be 20 years old. It still works. So I've got this little main fuse here. Unfortunately, I don't have the right size connector. I used the last connector on my alligator clamp for my temporary earths, So I'm going to have to wait to put this on. This is just going to go from the mains to the key to the battery to help protect all of the complicated circuits. You don't absolutely have to have one of these, okay, just to make it work and for it to be okay as long as you disconnect the battery, but you need one of these on there, okay. Cars, probably if you were going to get a warrant, not that you get a warrant on a moped in New Zealand, but if you're going to get a warrant, I would say that this is something that they would probably say that you can't have a warrant without this. Okay, it's a safety feature, this. Alright, I have most of the items I need. I've got a meter from the local warehouse, which is sort of like Walmart if you're outside of New Zealand and you live in a country that has Walmart. Everybody else knows what Walmart is. Went to my local electrical store, and I have a fuse holder. This is for my main circuit so that I can protect all the circuitry. I'm going to put it on afterwards. Okay, if you do it, please put it on first, but for the sake of making videos more quickly, I'm going to do it afterwards. I've also got all the different colours of heat shrink that I need so that I can cover everything up. All I need on top of that is my 5-pin connector. Currently I'm using some connectors just so I can start it at a later date and get everything to work. I also need a connector for my plug, and I also need a different colour, red and white wiring, but I can't find red and white wire, so at the moment we've got purple that can be changed afterwards. I'm not going to loom up everything, okay, so I'm not going to take this off and wrap it all up until I'm sure everything is mint. And I'm also only going to cover it up with wind-on coverings, okay, so you'll probably see them around, and they just mechanically protect the wiring, okay. So I'm going to go through all of the circuits, okay. Alright, everything is tidied up, connected up properly, soldered. The earths here are a little rough. If you have problems, I suggest you test between earth and your connection to the battery there. I've had problems all through this where there's been bad earths, so probably from paint being everywhere from me painting it. So everything's set up, I'm just letting it charge up, and the next job is something I'm not very skilled at yet, but I need to adjust the gap for my timing switch there to the correct gap, so bear with me. And just letting it sit.